Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to break down a skill that is absolutely crucial, not just for your career, but for your everyday life: negotiation. And look, forget about those high stakes, tense boardroom battles you see in movies. We're going to reframe this whole thing as a collaborative art form that, believe it or not, anyone can get good at.
So let me ask you something. When you hear that word negotiation, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably something like conflict, stress, maybe even a little bit of anxiety. The whole idea can feel really intimidating. But what if we could completely flip that script? So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to start by totally redefining what negotiation even is. Then I'm going to give you a super simple but really powerful framework called P.L.A.N.S to be your guide. After that, we'll see how it works with some real-world examples, and we'll wrap it all up with the key mindset you need to truly master the art of agreement. All right, let's get right into it. Before you can get good at anything, you've got to know what it actually is. So when we talk about negotiation, what are we really getting at?
Okay, so here's the official definition, but let's break it down. It is not about winning or beating the other person. It's a way of communicating to find a solution that works for everybody. The magic words here: mutually acceptable. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that common ground where both sides walk away feeling like they've gained something valuable.
And let's be real, there are two sides to this coin. And yeah, let's not pretend it's always easy. It can be time-consuming, it can definitely be stressful, and there's always a risk. But just look at those advantages. Outcomes where everyone wins, stronger relationships, more clarity, less conflict. I mean, these are huge. Our goal here is to learn how to boost those positives while keeping those negatives in check. So, how do we actually do that? Well, we need a system, right? A kind of blueprint to guide us and take the guesswork out of it. And that is exactly where our framework comes in. It's a simple little acronym that's going to become your new best friend in any negotiation. And that's it. So simple, right? Plans, just 5 letters, but they're going to give you a step-by-step process that turns that vague, kind of scary idea of negotiation into a solid plan you can actually follow. All right, so let's unpack what these letters actually stand for. We've got preparation, listening, assertive communication, negotiation strategy, and finally, solution and closure. See how that works? Each step logically builds on the one before it, taking you from the very beginning all the way to successful agreement. Okay, first up, P for preparation. And listen, if you only remember one thing, remember this. This is, without a doubt, the most important step. Walking in unprepared is like trying to drive to a new city without a map. You have to know your goals, you need to do a little research on the other side, and, this is huge, you must identify your BATNA. That's your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which in plain English is just your walkaway plan. It's your plan B. Knowing exactly what you'll do if things don't work out gives you so much power and confidence. Next up, L for listening. And I'm not talking about just, waiting for your turn to talk. This is active listening. It's about genuinely trying to understand where the other person is coming from, what they really need. This is where you let your emotional intelligence shine. When you ask good questions and show a little empathy, you're not just getting information, you're building the trust that's essential for finding a solution together. A is for assertive communication, and this is such a critical distinction to make. Assertive is not the same as aggressive. Aggression is all about attacking the other person. Assertiveness is about confidently and respectfully stating your own position. You lean on facts and data, not just raw emotion, and you're crystal clear about what you need. This helps keep everyone focused on solving the problem, instead of getting personal. All right, now we're at N for negotiation strategy. This is kind of the main event, the back and forth. The absolute key here is to keep a win-win mindset. Don't just dig your heels in on one single point. Instead, try offering a few different options and stay open and flexible. It's not about one person getting a bigger slice of the pie, leaving less for the other. It's about figuring out how to make the whole pie bigger for everyone. And that brings us to our final letter, S, for solution and closure. So you've reached a deal. Awesome! High fives all around. But wait, you're not quite done yet. You have to confirm all the little details to make sure there are no surprises later. Take a minute to summarize the final terms so everybody is 100% on the same page. This makes sure the deal actually holds up, and just as important, that you walk away with a good relationship. Okay, so theory is one thing, right? But let's see how this PLANS framework actually holds up in the real world. We're going to apply it to a couple of situations that you've probably been in yourself. Let's start with a classic, one that gives a lot of people sweaty palms: the salary negotiation. You get that job offer, you're thrilled, but the salary they offered is just a little lower than you were hoping for. Oof, it's such a tricky moment. What do you do?
So, how do we use our P.L.A.N.S here? First, preparation. You do your homework. You research the market rates for your role and your level of experience. You come armed with data. Then, assertiveness. This isn't about being pushy, it's about clearly explaining the unique value you bring to the table. And your strategy? You confidently present your desired salary not as just a random number, but as the fair market value for the skills and results you deliver.
All right, let's switch gears from the office to the living room. Another classic scenario, the roommate conflict. You know the one. Someone just is not doing their fair share of the chores, and the tension is starting to build.
Here, that L for listening is absolutely everything. Don't start by pointing fingers. Instead, ask some questions. Maybe they're completely slammed at work, or maybe they just have a totally different idea of what clean means. Try to understand their side first. Then use assertive communication to state your needs respectfully, like, hey, I feel really stressed when the kitchen's a mess. Can we figure something out? And then you work together on a solution, like a chore schedule everyone can live with. It's not about proving you're right, it's about making the home a better place for both of you.
Okay, so as we start to wrap things up, what are the big ideas you should carry with you? Let's boil this all down to the absolute essentials you need to walk away with.
Think of this as your new negotiation cheat sheet. Number 1, go in looking for a win-win. 2, always focus on the problem, not the person. 3, try to understand their underlying interests, not just their surface-level demands. 4, and please, please always know your BATNA, your walk-away option. And finally, through it all, stay calm and stay respectful. That right there is your secret weapon.
And really, this quote says it all, doesn't it? This is the core idea that should guide you from now on. It's about shifting your mindset from combat to collaboration. You're not there to win a fight. You're there to build a solution together that respects everyone involved. So, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Now that you have the P.L.A.N.S framework and this fresh perspective, what's one conversation, maybe it's at work, maybe it's at home, that you're going to approach differently? Because now the art of the agreement is totally in your hands.